We met last year, February 2024, and as soon as I met him, it just seemed like fate, right?
What do you mean it seemed like fate?
It's just everything that I've ever wanted in a guy, he was showing me.
Like?
He was charming, he was funny, he was making all these promises. He was like, I'm going to do this for you, I'm going to do this for you.
What was he going to do for you?
He was going to provide an amazing household, and that he was buying me flowers all the time, and he was just showering me with love.
So was it love at first sight?
So how we met was a dating app. So I would say love at first text.
Love at first text. All right.
Yeah. Anyways, we did hit it off. Like, there was something about her, just the way we were like messaging back and forth. It was just something different than anyone else I had previously talked to or been with. And I come from not so great relationships, and then so this is something new and different. And it's
Were you
exciting.
on the rebound when you said I was coming from not so great relationships?
I wasn't on the rebound. When I started talking to her, I was still ending things with my ex.
So was there overlap?
We talked for a month on the app.
Okay.
And so in that sense, there was overlap. And then when we actually were together, I was like, my ex, she just like wouldn't get out of my life. So there's like, it was mostly just messages on the phone.
All right. So this was wonderful. It starts out. Right?
Yes, until...
Even though you were kind of on the 1 foot in on the way out on the dating app, and then you met her.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
Then once we, like, in person, it was just like, we both knew. Okay. And she was living with her parents at the time. So there was a couple months of us talking and dating and just, like, falling in love. And then, I don't know, we might have jumped the gun, but we decided, like, why not move in together?
Okay, so you decided to move in together.
Yeah.
Whose idea was that?
It was Gabriel's.
All right, but you were not happy at home.
I was not happy at home. I just got out of college. I went back home, and they were giving me a curfew, and I was like, I was out all the time in college. I don't need a curfew now. So yes, I was anxious to get out.
So you were saying to your parents, I'm grown. But they're saying, but you're living in my house.
Exactly right.
Okay.
Yes.
I get that.
Yes.
All right, so you all decided that you're going to move in together.
Yes, we did.
And then what happened?
So we were very happy. We moved in together in June, and we signed a year lease.
Okay.
Okay. And the first couple months were absolutely amazing. I have nothing bad to say about that time period. So much so that in July, he proposed to me.
In July? Wait. So you were like committed, in love?
We were, and...
That's always, but you know, Harvey, that's always it. The past tense, you know, like, otherwise they would not be in my courtroom.
That's true. Unfortunately.
So you were in love.
Yeah, it was like a fairy tale, and like we were so like into each other, and it's like we knew. And
so you proposed.
I did propose. It was probably a little early in hindsight, but...
Why do you say that? Why do you say it was a little early in hindsight?
Just how it all played out. I don't know.
All right, so tell me. All right, so now you're both telling me that this was a fairy tale situation. You were in love, so much so that you decided to ask her to marry you.
Yeah, and it was money that I was planning to do the truck driving courses to get my CDL license. It was money I probably should have been saving for that, but I was so sure about her.
All right, so let's talk about that for a minute. So you're getting your CDL so that everybody understands that, commercial driver's license.
Correct.
And I understand that you wanted to start a business.
Yeah, I mean, I've been a mechanic, and it's just like I was tired of working for others, and I wanted to kind of get my own truck driving business.
So you had to go to school.
Yeah.
You have a training session that you have to take.
Which I did in September.
Okay.
It was $5,350, and that's where some of the money she loaned me came from. She loaned me $3,500 for that.
Okay. You borrowed money for the course while you paid for the engagement ring.
Your Honor, and I would just like to point out that my engagement ring cost way less than my $3,500 loan that I gave him.
Correct. But I've paid her back $1,000 of the loan, so there's only $2,500 remaining.
Okay.
The plan was to pay her back in January. I was making money. I did get hired by a truck company.
Oh, good.
There was a plan to pay her back.
But then everything went bad.
Everything was going great. There was a plan. But yet and still, you're in my courtroom today. So why are you in my courtroom today?
There was an incident.
Towards
the end of the year, New Year's Eve party. And we were going to this party together, just normal fun party with my friends.
Now, before you went to the party, Everything's good?
Everything's fine.
Everything was great up until
Everything's
that
great.
party.
Literally everything's
Up
fine.
until the party.
Yes.
And then everything went left.
Yes.
So what in the world happened at this party? How could you go from this fairy tale situation where everything is great? I mean, the two of you have said the exact same thing.
Right.
That everything was wonderful. To a point where one evening at some party, that everything just goes off the rails. So what happened?
Well, unfortunately, after a little bit of being there, I see at the bar my ex, Janet, is there, who I did not expect to see there. And she looked very pregnant.
What do you mean she looked very pregnant?
She was pregnant. I knew that with Hannah there, I needed to like diffuse the situation because Janet I went to go talk to her.
Your Honor, I just want to point out that he talked to her before he talked to me. So I'm already like sketched out because.
So, but you didn't know that this was the ex.
No,
you
not at this time.
At the initially. So when we get to the party and he goes over to talk to Janet.
Yes.
You did not know that that was the ex.
No, but I knew something was up because we got to this party at 10 o'clock.
Okay.
It's a New Year's Eve party. We're at least going to stay till 12. I didn't put on my sparkly dress to just go back home. So we get there at 10 and he's acting really weird. Like he doesn't want to be seen with me. He's not holding my hand. I'm trying to dance. He's not trying to dance with me. And then around 10:30 he says, well, I'm ready to leave. And I'm like, something's wrong.
I'm ready to leave at 10:30.
Right.
It's a New Year's Eve party.
So I said, how about we just calm down and I'll go get us some drinks at the bar. And he went somewhere and I'm in line and I see him from across the room talking to this random woman. And their conversation was very
Who
animated.
turned out not to be random, that
Right.
you later found out.
Yes. And their conversation's like super animated. They're using their hands. He's got his arms crossed. She looks upset. And then I see her turn and she is very, very clearly about to pop pregnant. Okay? And I'm like, well, why is he arguing with a pregnant lady? Right? So, like, what is happening?
That would be what I would think.
Right.
I would wonder, why is he over arguing with a pregnant woman?
So I started walking to him, and he sees me, and he, like, freaks out, and he, like goes away from her. And I'm like, who's this woman? Who's this woman? And he's like, we'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it later. And at this time, I was like, you know what? It's fine. I don't want to let it ruin my new year.
Hold tight. Hold
Okay.
tight. All right. Because I want to hear what he's
Yes.
thinking and saying about this random woman that's not random to him.
Right.
All right. So now you're talking to Janet.
Yeah.
She says it's very animated. What's going on with you, between you and Janet?
I'm trying to figure out what's going on with her. Like, she's clearly pregnant, and Janet always is just like, she's up to something. Like, I was trying to get answers, like, who else, like, who have you been sleeping with, and all these different things. And she was just like toying with me, being very vague about it all. So I was just like, at a certain point, I realized we just had to get out of there. I didn't want to be in the same room with my crazy ex and then my now fiance. I just knew it was like a bad place to be, and we had to get out of there.
Number one, I would like to commend the defendant, the man. I love his calmness. He's cool, calm, and looking at him, you can tell that the man looks like a caring man. Yes, very, very caring. However, I think this is a case of misunderstanding. We're talking about the S, and the issue here is the ex-girlfriend, or rather the current girlfriend, is insisting that the man cheated on her while they were still together. And the man is saying nothing of such happened. This is a case of misunderstanding. And the anger of the lady, which is the current girlfriend, is coming from lack of proper communication, emphasis on the proper communication. Underline. Because if you listen to the lady very well, she said, and I quote, that when she was trying to communicate with her man in the car when they were leaving the party, she didn't like the way the man communicated to her. And that brings me back to what I've been saying. If you've been watching my previous videos, communication, they say, matters a lot. Not just the communication, but the tone and the information in which you use to communicate properly to your partner. Let's continue watching this case. And at the end of the video, I'm going to be giving my final opinion on this particular case.
And he admitted that it was Janet, his ex-girlfriend. And I was like...
So you go in and enjoy the party.
Right.
And you stay to see the New Year's
Yes.
in, all of that, ring the bell, all that good stuff,
Yes.
right?
Yes. And then I started counting the months back. And there would have been an overlap in our relationship, which when we first started talking, I knew he was still with her, but I was like giving him space in the beginning to like end things. And then when he ended things, we got together. But
And he says that too.
Right.
He says that initially that he was still trying to unwind this relationship before he really made a commitment to you.
Right.
Which, I mean, sounds like the right thing to do.
Yes. Yes.
So now you're counting back the months. I can see you in the car. You're probably going...
Yeah, exactly. Right.
And then what did you say to him?
So I was like, well, that doesn't, are you sure it's not your baby? Like, what's going on? And instead of being like, I'm sorry I made you feel this way, you know, like a normal, calm conversation, making me feel better, he got very defensive.
What happened?
Janet's like almost pregnant. 8, like literally the baby could pop out. Even if you count it back, she might have got pregnant in May, maybe April. I cut ties with her, it was like March or like early April at the least. Like,
Then if
you count it back and do the math, it can't be my kid.
Well,
That's all I'm
did you
saying.
explain that to him?
I tried, but she wasn't listening. She thought I was lying and that like I had kept seeing Janet longer than I said when I had it.
So how did you handle it in the car going home? What did you say to her? What did you say to Hannah? She says, wait a minute, who is this woman? She's obviously very pregnant. She starts counting. I can see this happening. She's counting on her fingers, and she's looking at you for an answer. And what did you say?
I told her the truth. I told her exactly what happened, and I told her how crazy Janet is. The baby, Janet
and so
has
you're convinced that this is not your baby?
It's not my baby. Janet, like, she cheated on me. She has a history of, like, being with other guys. And she wouldn't give me a straight answer. She was just, like, beating around the bush. Like,
so you all broke up behind this, Hannah?
Yes, we did, because I just couldn't trust him anymore. Because I was acting like he was talking to her very animated, and he even just said that it would have been an overlap. But if he was asking her like, "Who were you with?" Why is he concerned if there wasn't an overlap, right? Like, he must have been with her as we were together.
All right.
And she started texting me.
Okay, and I'm going to get down to the root cause of why we're here about the money. But let me just say a couple of things to you. One, if there was an overlap, and he says to you, Hannah, I was not with her, and that he has confessed his love to you, would you not consider giving him the benefit of the doubt?
I did, but it was the way that he reacted when I was asking. It was super defensive. It wasn't like a calm thing. It was like I could tell that he was freaked out himself. And why would you be freaked out yourself if there wasn't a possibility of that being your baby?
Let me say this to you.
Okay.
If you see a woman that you've been with, right, and he sees her across the room and realizes that she's very pregnant, from his perspective, I can see him freaking out. Do you want to be back with Hannah?
at this moment in time,
Yes.
I can't say that I do, no.
Oh, I'm up here trying to fix this, and you're up here like, oh, no, I don't want to be back with her.
I told her the truth, and she still couldn't trust me. And then it was like months of fighting, and she just had this jealousy that came over her.
And she put you out. She told you to leave.
Eventually, yeah. It was like we were arguing literally every night.
Okay.
And then in March, it finally got to a point where she wanted me to leave the apartment.
Okay.
And eventually I did, March 10th.
And there was how much time left on the lease, and that's why you're suing him for that?
I am. 2 months, and I did not force him to leave. We were discussing who was going to leave, and one day I got home on March 10th, and he had packed his bags, and he said he was the one leaving.
So how much are you saying that he owes on the lease?
$3,200.
All right, and that's $3,200, and that's how we got up to the $5,700 because you're saying that he still owes you the $2,500 from when you loaned him.
Yes.
All right, so can we talk about that? I mean, she loaned you the money. Come on.
She did. I paid back $1,000 of it. I didn't mention the engagement ring I bought her. She still has it. That was $1,750. I didn't ask for it back. She says I owe her money. She has my ring, so you got to factor that into the equation too.
I don't have to.
You don't have to. But.
What's going on with this ring?
Okay, so I'm keeping this ring as a reminder that he still owes me my money and as a reminder to never get engaged this quickly ever again. So.
It's an interesting, analysis of why you should keep the ring. Let me start with this. $3,500. You've paid back 1,000.
Correct.
Right? So there's a balance of $2,500. Now, do you want the ring back or do you want me to make an adjustment on the accounting?
How much would the adjustment be?
Well, I'm going to have a little depreciation. So I'm going to depreciate it down $50. So $1,700 off the $5,700 that you owe. So now we're down to $4,000?
Yes, but
So do you want the ring or do you want the judgment? What do you want? I'm giving you some options.
I don't want to pay anything.
Of course. Well, that's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen.
That's not gonna happen.
Your Honor.
Let's talk about the remainder of the lease. Both our names are on the lease.
Right?
The rent has to get paid.
Yes.
It got paid.
How did it get paid?
She paid it.
Yes, and your name was on the lease.
It doesn't matter whose name's on the lease as long as the rent gets paid.
Listen, that's why I'm here and you're down there. I'm the judge and you're on this lease and you signed the lease, and so you have a
Sure.
legal responsibility. So I'm tired of talking to you about this. I'm going to enter judgment for $4,000 and you can get the ring back. All right, so I'm entering judgment in your favor for $4,000, but given the fact that you're just starting this business, I'm going to give you 90 days to pay it. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $4,000. We'll stand adjourned.
Judge Hatchett has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $4,000.
Did you get what you wanted?
I mean, I wanted you, but we couldn't do that, could we?
Next is to the rear of the court. Make sure you have everything.
The judge ruled in favor of the plaintiff. I think two of them are just better off being apart. Because one, the trust in the relationship has been breached. And when there's no trust in the relationship, I don't see any need two of them still being together. That is one. Number two, understanding. I think my opinion that they don't understand each other very well. And just like the lady said, they didn't get enough time or they didn't bring out enough time to know each other very well before she accepted the proposal. Because assuming they had time to date, they had time to court, probably they wouldn't have been in court today. But because they were just quick, lovey-dovey, and all that, she accepted the proposal and she later found out, which the man also found out the same day the lady found out. But the lady refused to give him listening ear because of lack of proper communication. That is why I keep telling my friends, my colleagues, anything you're doing in life with a man or a woman, anything you're doing before you propose as a man and as a lady, before you say yes to a man, make sure that you dated this man at least for some time. Same thing goes with the man. Get to know each other very well. The best person to marry is your friend. The best person to get married to is your friend. Take your time to know this person very well before you say yes to this person. And as a man, before you propose, take your time to know this particular lady you're about to get married to. See, marriage, marriage is not something you go into and you dash out immediately. Marriage is the lifetime something, even though that the rate of divorce today in our society is high. But take your time to know who you are dating. And that way, you are going to be avoiding some certain things in your relationship. That is my opinion. And I love the way the judge handled the case, even though I don't entirely agree with her 100% on how she handled the case. But that is my opinion. Tell me what you think about this particular case in the comment section below.